Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. Welcome to Extra Crispy. We got a bitch-ass boomer alert in front of us, guys. Kevin Garnett, old head, is coming at LeBron James. Pretty much, saying after the fact that he was the reason him and the Celtics was the reason that LeBron James ended up going to Miami and stuff, man. So, for this video, we got Stephen A. reacts to Kevin Garnett claiming his Celtics ran LeBron out of Cleveland first take. So I'm going to see what Stephen A. Smith has to say. Then I'm going to give you guys my thoughts and opinion. Although, just by the beginning of this video, you might have a pretty good idea of where I'm kind of going the direction of this. So let's get it, man.
Garnett insinuated LeBron left Cleveland in 2010 because the Celtics eliminated the Cavs.
Yo, it's Rashid, though.
KG added,
Rashid probably the reason.
Didn't give an expletive about LeBron, and they had no fear of him. Now, Stephen A.
Obviously, you did care if you're bringing up his name right now. Because, like, if somebody's an afterthought, I'm thinking of, like, Antonio Daniels. Ain't nobody talk about Antonio Daniels anymore. Brevin Knight. So, obviously, he's not an afterthought. Or you did care about him at that bitch-ass time. That's why you're bringing up his name. KG, don't you see how that kind of collides?
Based on these comments and everything that Kevin Garnett said, should opponents have some level of respect for LeBron?
Yeah, I would think so.
Well, I'm not saying this about you, Rachel, because I understand we're introducing the topic the way that we are. But I think that question, if asked in general with sincerity, is utterly ridiculous. The man's a three-time champion. He's been to the finals 9 times. He's unquestionably one of the greatest players in the history of basketball. If LeBron James doesn't require respect,
then who does?
I don't know who the hell does, to be quite honest with you.
Luke Kennard.
That's number one.
I mean,
but
that's it,
two,
right?
I'm going to say this. I don't have a problem with anything that Kevin Garnett said in terms of what he means.
Okay.
He is alluding to basketball. He is alluding to 2 years earlier, the Boston Celtics winning the chip, beating the Lakers in 6 games. And then with
my biggest issue with that championship is that, and I say this as a pistol man, we juiced up 2004 like ain't nobody's business. It's getting to the point where it's going to be kind of pathetic now. But I'm going to say that, like, the Celtics are right up there with one of the most juiced up championships in NBA history. You look at that team, you look at all those guys, man. You had an up and coming Rajon Rondo. You had, Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen. Of course, those guys was Brian Scalabrine, man. So it's like, when you have a team such and such like that, you expected probably at least 2 rings out of that. Probably at least 2. So, to me, by winning that one championship, anything is possible. I greatly respect that squad and what they brought out there. I mean, Kevin Garnett is a straight-up trash talker. That's just the name of his game out there, right? He's been doing it since he came to the NBA. But to me, you didn't overachieve. You achieved. You didn't underachieve. You just achieved. So, I don't know. I don't think LeBron cared so much about the Celtics either, if I'm being quite honest about it.
that starting 5 of him, with Kendrick Perkins, with Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, and Rondo.
It's a bad
healthy,
team.
Their mentality was, we're unbeatable. Anybody that's taken us out, it's because we were compromised. Our
Happens to anybody.
5 was compromised injury-wise.
Every team has
What
injuries.
I do think it's important to mention, and I'm not getting into any details, and I never will. All I'm going to say is what I've said repeatedly, Max.
Get in details.
And that is this. There were personal issues
Get in details.
going on with LeBron James and his teammates. He was disrespected, and he was flat out betrayed. And I don't give a damn what anybody says. He probably will never speak about it. Some people going to call me a liar, whatever. I don't give a damn. I'm telling you what I know.
Are we talking about Delonte West? I hope he's not talking. Yeah, that's pretty disrespectful. Like, he literally, like, yeah, okay.
He was betrayed
Heck
by
yeah.
by some of his teammates and that Cleveland.
I've only heard
organization.
Delonte.
And that played a role into why he left Cleveland.
That's a good point.
To go to Miami.
Great
and
point.
That person that was accused of quitting once he decided to go to Miami by Dan Gilbert, who not only accused LeBron of quitting, but he picked the games in which LeBron James quit. He said 2, 4, game 2, 4, and 6. He accused him of quitting all 3 games. That was disingenuous on his part. There were a lot of.
So he ended up quitting the games. They have no bitch ass help out there. Is that what? Oh my god! Like, that's the issue. That's the issue. Is that they just did. They Anthony Davis'd him. They did a poor job of building around LeBron.
Things going on with LeBron James that's none of anybody's
it.
damn business. and I will come to his defense to the grave on that one. What happened to him that last year in Cleveland was nothing short of betrayal. It had nothing to do with basketball, but it also compromised his greatness on the basketball.
Yo, give
court
Antoine
because he was
Jameson.
distracted, which is why when he went to Miami the next year, every single press conference, Dwayne Wade was sitting by his side because he finally had a brother that he had never had in all his years in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mo Williams,
I think
Big
that's a
Z,
very
they were
good
cool.
point.
They were cool.
The answer is you can't have too much respect for anyone who you play. You have to think that you're better than them in order to win. But I want to get into what you're saying.
I disagree with that statement. You can feel like you're better, but you can still respect somebody. Or you can not so much you have to feel like you're better, but you have to use that person as a beacon of your own success. You gotta look at somebody and be like, I can be that someday. I can be that and better. But you can still respect what they did and how they did to get there.
Stephen A, 'cause I find that more interesting. It's widely known what you're talking about, but we can't really talk about it. It's inappropriate on television.
Yeah, it's definitely Delonte.
That was absurd what he had to deal with that year. That's absurd. And it's just like, it's ridiculous. If you had to invent something to bother someone that you don't do it to a teammate, that's what happened to him. But anyway.
Is there another issue that I'm not thinking of? Because that's the only thing that's coming to mind.
Let's get past that for a
It's the
second
only thing.
and just deal with what KG said. KG, Paul, I love Kevin Garnett. I love Garnett. I mean, Bill Russell loved it when they got Kevin Garnett, right? And they won a championship. But guys, it was one single championship. And Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen were 3 Hall of Famers who were still great, playing on the same team at the same time with a great coach and a great supporting cast. And it took everything they had to knock a one-man band out of town. I mean,
and if we want to be honest about it too, you know, Kevin Garnett, I know, brought up the fact about how LeBron, you know, ran to build like the super team with Miami. How is it any different than what Kevin Garnett did? I mean, yes, he didn't sign with the Celtics via free agency. He was traded there after requesting a trade and waiving his no-trade clause. So, and he knew that Paul Pierce was there, a superstar player, and I'm pretty sure they probably knew that Ray Allen was coming. I don't remember how it was Garnett and Ray Allen that came to the team first, but regardless, how is that any different? If anything, you paved the way.
Like, really what happened is LeBron was by himself. Really what happened is he didn't have another great teammate.
They had Sasha Pavlovich.
Give him an all-star to work with. Once he went to Miami,
Mo Williams, man.
He choked the first one away. He was figuring it out. And then he won 2 in a row.
And Dirk was great.
Went to 4 straight finals and went back to Cleveland and won another one. I mean, he just didn't have no one can do it by themselves. So he rigged the system. He did. Not as bad as KD did later on.
You said it, not me.
He did. He made sure. Oh, really? So Garnett talking about they broke him. No, they didn't break him. They did this, they did that. It was experience. He didn't understand.
And that's a big issue with what Kevin Durant did, is because at the time LeBron was looked at as a villain. He was the villain of the NBA for joining the super team. But now in hindsight, we all look at it compared to what Kevin Durant did, and we just say straight up to any of these teams, well, I mean, they didn't join a 73-9 team. They didn't blow a 3-1 lead and then join the guys. So it kind of, by what Durant did, it kind of makes their situation look better. Is it better? I mean, it's better than Durant's, but it does not make it good. It doesn't make it good.
And my man, you give LeBron James 2 all-star teammates on that Cleveland team, let alone 2 future Hall of Famers, the Celtics would have exactly 0. He was so much better than it took 3 of them. It took 3 of them to take him out. So, and I love KG. He's an all-time great, but that tells you the level, even then, that LeBron was operating on.
Yeah, KG and Ray were getting a bit older at that time.
Point out KG's
just a bit.
Attitude. That is significant. You can't be so respectful of a guy that you don't think you're better than him. And KG is here, even though I disagree with what he's saying, he's showing the right kind of mental approach to playing a guy like LeBron.
Not really.
He is showing the right kind of mental approach, but let's also understand and respect the fact that he's come, and I mean this affectionately, he's coming across as a bully on the block because no one thought Cleveland was better than
he's
Boston.
hindsight bullying.
Shaquille O'Neal was beyond his prime. Anthony Miller was on the squad. Mo Williams, Antoine Jameson. They did not have the crew that the Boston Celtics had. The Boston Celtics was 2 years removed from winning a championship. When their starting 5 was healthy, they were unbeatable.
You gotta think about it like this: you take that LeBron team and you replace him with any of the big three on the Boston Celtics, how good do you think that Cavaliers team would do? If it was Paul Pierce replacing LeBron, I think that probably give him the best chance. But even Paul Pierce before the big three, he was struggling on Boston. That team was not good. I remember watching those games, and they were, Paul Pierce would always get his, but the truth is that the truth wasn't able to carry a team by himself like LeBron could.
Everybody pretty much knew that. And so they clearly had the better team. It wasn't like, oh my goodness, LeBron had a crew. No, right. LeBron was a one-man wrecking crew at that particular moment in time.
Yeah, damn, Candace Parker's brother,
KG,
Anthony Parker,
Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen, and those boys. That was not going to
give him Shaq even from 3 years before then, Stephen A. Like if you just
Big
made
Z.
Shaq 2 or 3 years,
might as well be
completely different scenario.
Had Big
That's
Z.
not fair. But so I agree. Like right. But KG, if the question is, do you have to respect LeBron? If what KG's point of view is disrespectful, then you got to be disrespectful. You got to think that you're the bully, and KG felt like that when he was out on the court. Easier to do when you have Hall of Famers backing you up. LeBron didn't have that, but still, I think there's a lesson there.
All right, I mean that sums it up right there. Is just that. Let's not freaking disrespect LeBron James. At least, top 1, top 2 greatest player of all time based on who you're talking to. Shut your bitch ass up, KG. We out.